Joining us now is the owner of Back to the Past Collectibles, C. Scott Lovejoy. Scott, thanks for being with us again.
Hi, Tyler. Thanks for having me.
I appreciate having you on. So for those that aren't familiar with Back to the Past Collectibles and they haven't seen your previous interviews with us on the MegaCast over the last couple of years, so tell us about your business and what you provide in terms of the products and the services in our local area.
Yeah, we are a store that handles collectible items, generally from the pop culture category, from comic books and records to toys, movie materials. We also handle coins, generally anything that's kind of old and dusty and fun that isn't furniture or household goods or things like that. If it's got a collectability value, that's something that we are into. And a big part of our focus is the client side of helping someone with a pile of stuff. They're not sure what it is. They're not sure what they can do with it. And we come in, we help them evaluate and figure out the best ways to get their things to market.
And one of the many places that people go to collect some of these items is to their local Comic-Con. There's another larger regional Comic-Con coming up in mid-May, May 13th through the 15th, is Motor City Comic-Con. I understand that Back to the Past Collectibles will be at that event with a booth themselves. What will you be doing there at Motor City Comic-Con? What sort of products can people expect to be able to see from your business when they attend Motor City Comic-Con?
Yeah, so we are going to have a booth there. We love that show. There's always a lot of excitement going on. We like being fans there as well and walking around and seeing all the cool things that are going on. We are going to bring a smattering of what we carry to the booth so that people can see kind of a different selection of the various categories of things we carry. But interestingly, to a lot of people who primarily go to the con to sell stuff, our goal there is to really let everybody know about our services, because a great deal of what we do, we handle in the form of auctions or online listings, different types of events. And one of the things that we're going to highlight at this con is something we're on called PopShop Live, which is a kind of a new streaming platform. It's a lot more popular in other countries than it is necessarily here in the U.S. yet, but it is gaining ground. It's still kind of a nascent technology, and we're working on being a member of that and finding new ways to do things for those old people who might not be on TikTok and things like that. Kind of if you picture QVC, kind of the way they would sell things on QVC. It's kind of a version of that in TikTok, where there's a live stream. As we're talking about products, we can add them to a cart and people can see them go by, and if they see something they like, they can buy it. And it's a real engaging social method of talking about what we have and showing off our goods that way. So we're going to highlight that at the con as well.
So another way you're going about selling some products in the near future is PopShop Live. It's another way you sell items. Can you tell us about that and how that helps your business sell some of these collectibles to collectors all throughout the local area and even well beyond Oakland County and Michigan?
Oh yeah, it's a worldwide thing. We've already shipped packages to other countries through it, and it's an interesting way to talk about what we do, but at the same time, it's a lot more engaging with the audience as opposed to something like an eBay or one of our live auction events, or even something hanging on the rack in the showroom. It's a way to talk about things. People can share their interests. People can ask while they're on the stream, do you have this or that? And we can run off and maybe find something in the store, find something to bring into it. So it's a really interesting, fun way to sell collectible items. And we've done Pokemon cards on there, toys, comic books. We're working on vinyl. Vinyl's been pretty popular on those streams as well.
We're joined by C. Scott Lovejoy, the owner of Back to the Past Collectibles, located in Wixom, Michigan, and Oakland County, joining us on the Oakland County MegaCast. More information is on their website, gobacktothepast.com. That is gobacktothepast.com. You can also find them on various social media, including Twitter at back2past, on Facebook at facebook.com/backtothepast as well for more information and to keep up with their upcoming auctions, sales, and other things you need to know about Back to the Past Collectibles. And so, Scott, there's a major comic book auction also happening later on in May. It's going to be May 20th through the 22nd. Can you tell us about that comic book auction? What is making this one in particular so special that you are holding with Back to the Past?
Mhm. So we actually have one coming up this Saturday, the 7th, as well. Okay. That's a pretty nice little collection. Before I talk about the one that's after the con, for X-Men fans, this is one of the lots coming up just this weekend on the 7th. It's a giant size X-Men #1. It's a solid mid-grade copy from 1975. This is considered the first appearance of the modern X-Men team that most people would recognize. And so that's a major key book that's coming up in that one. That one will have a lot of other bronze and modern age fun. So tune into that one this weekend. But yes, coming up after the con, we have a 3-day event. The first two, so it's going to be the 19th, Thursday the 19th, Friday the 20th, and then Saturday the 21st. The first two sessions will be online only and are kind of teaser events that lead up to the main showcase on Saturday, which will be live in the showroom. We invite everybody to come in and physically inspect the books and be part of this. It's going to be a real electric event because we have so many key books in this collection that are graded. So we have, for instance, in this collection is an Incredible Hulk. Let me get the glare off of that. An Incredible Hulk 181, which is the first appearance of Wolverine. Another major popular book is an Amazing Spider-Man #129. That is the first Punisher. And then the X-Men, interestingly, I just talked about this giant size X-Men #1. And then we also have an X-Men #94. Which is it's kind of the second appearance of that same team. As well as just many other graded books, lots of key stuff. If you're a Marvel fan and you're into Spider-Man or X-Men or Fantastic Four, it's just going to be just a mother of an event. So we welcome everybody to check out that catalog. The catalog will be going up in the next day or two, but to definitely schedule at Saturday night to come in at 6 p.m. on the 21st. For that live event.
More information on that event and others through Back to the Past Collectibles, located in Wixom, Michigan, by visiting their website, gobacktothepast.com. That's gobacktothepast.com. We're joined by the owner of Back to the Past Collectibles, Scott Lovejoy, on the Oakland County MegaCast. Scott, at the beginning of the pandemic, or earlier on in the pandemic when we were first talking to you, a lot of people were taking up different hobbies, including collecting various collectible items of different kinds. And so we saw the value of these items really shoot up in ways that they hadn't in the past. Now that we're starting to really get back to more of a sense of normalcy in our daily lives and out in society, what sort of trends are we seeing now in the market for collectibles? Is it sort of going in the reverse of that, where people are looking to sell more now and the value might not be as high? Or are we still seeing similar trends to what we saw earlier on in the COVID crisis?
Yeah, much like everything else, collectibles have their ups and downs, and there's reasons why things go up or down, including the global economy. What we're seeing is not necessarily that things are dropping a whole lot, but that feeling that was going on during COVID, where everything was just up and up and up and up, and so your anticipation of buying something now and it will absolutely be worth all this more money if you just follow that trend line. That trend line is not necessarily skyrocketing now as it was. It's plateaued a bit. We're not necessarily seeing values fall, but we're seeing maybe an anticipation for how fast things are going to go up is not quite as hot. But there's still, if you have a collection of interesting items of toys, comics, coins, I mean, the metal value of coins is definitely driving that. So coins haven't really cooled off all that much. But if you have things like that, and they're things that you might have held on to for years, there is absolutely a plus side to pulling those things out, figuring out what they're worth, and figuring out how to get them to market. So yes, definitely something you would still want to look into.
So what are the benefits? You mentioned that helping to get them to market in a way that puts your best foot forward is one of the many benefits of going through a company like yours in order to sell some of these collectible items. So give us some insight into why that is the case, what sort of services that you give that sort of a benefit to someone looking to sell some of these collectibles that they may have, versus doing so on their own on various other auction sites like eBay or on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace, where they may not actually be putting their best foot forward in terms of their return value for these items.
Well, there's a couple things there. I mean, first is the number of channels that we deal with. We don't just have a foot in one thing. There are benefits to each of the ways of selling things, depending on what the item is, depending on a number of factors. There are things that do a lot better in a live auction setting than they would on eBay. There are things that are absolutely eBay items that might get overlooked in a live auction. But we also have PopShop is one of our channels. We have networks with other dealers, other auction houses. There might be situations where we know that there are some channels that would be stronger than others. And so that when we come in to look at a collection, we're not just looking at it through one lens or one filter. We're looking at it with a wide variety of options that we can do to make sure that we optimize the income and we're getting the best dimes and nickels for that whole collection. But the other thing that you get with a company like ours, something that we are absolutely so proud of, is our sterling reputation. We work really hard to make sure that we describe things accurately, so that when people look at us to buy things, we routinely get better prices than other places. It's one of the things sometimes that some of the buyers will scratch their heads about and say, I could go to another place and I could buy this cheaper, and look at the money you just got for this, sometimes. And the reason for that is because we have such a rock solid reputation that what we say it is, it is. And if we're wrong, if we describe something wrong, we stand behind it. We always make sure it's right. We fix it. And that's something that people don't get from a lot of different channels. Often it surprises me how if we just come to something and we show, basic competence, we say what it is, we do what we say, we make sure everything's right, how rare that is for a lot of people, that they're not used to dealing with a company that will just make sure things are right. So that's a good reason to use someone like us, because then everyone trusts the sale, and that way you get more bang for your buck when we bring something to market.
We're joined by Scott Lovejoy. He is the owner of Back to the Past Collectibles. Joining us on the Oakland County MegaCast. More information on the website, backtothepastcollectibles.com. Sorry, backtothepast.com. Let's go backtothepast.com for more information. And so, Scott, if someone would like to shop with Back to the Past, either in these auctions, of course they're online, but they're also in person. Where do these occur? Where do you have a brick and mortar store that people can explore some of these items too before they go to auction or they consider buying them?
Yeah, so we do have a brick and mortar location. We're in Wixom. We're at 50420 Dennis Court. It's right off Pontiac Trail, west of Wixom Road. And so people are absolutely welcome to come in here. The one thing that I would say that sometimes is a surprise is the great majority of what we do is we bring these collections in, we get them cataloged, they go into event-based sales. So they go on eBay, they go on PopShop, they go into a live auction, wherever else the network might be. And so sometimes people, if they show up to the brick and mortar store, they'll say, where are all these amazing things that go by? They could certainly inspect the auction goods, but they're not necessarily just like hanging on a peg in the showroom. So, we keep the retail area a good example of all the different things we carry. But if you really want to shop our store and you really want to experience like what we do and the best of the things that go by, my best recommendation is you check out our website at gobacktothepast.com/shop. That has a link to all of our different feeds. Make sure you sign up for the newsletter, the VIP club, you follow our socials, and that way we will constantly tell you about all the things coming up. And I have I don't know how much time I have left with you here, Tyler, but I've got a huge list of all the things going on, if I can rattle through it here at some point.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Go ahead.
All right, so right now we're working with a fantastic record collection. It's high grade records in the shrink wrap. I think I have almost 700 records. This is amazing stuff. It's record store day exclusives. It's box sets. It's a lot of rare things. Brand new, still in the shrink wrap. I've never seen such a high grade collection. It's just immaculate. So we're working through cataloging that. Some of those things are going on PopShop Live, but we will have an event coming up around records. So if you're a vinyl record collector, you're going to want to stay tuned for that. We're working with local artist Roy Thomas. You see one of his pieces behind me. This is our mascot, which we call Hero Kid, and he made me that. So he makes one of a kind. Also that Joker, I think you can see over there on the wall. He makes these beautiful one-of-a-kind art pieces. We feature him in the showroom. We're also going to have a lot of his work coming up in a sale. We've got a great movie poster and movie paper collection coming up, 8x10s, autographs, all kinds of movie-related Hollywood stuff. We've got a toy collection including classic G.I. Joe, Transformers first generation, Star Wars vintage stuff. And in fact, a few of those pieces have gone up on our eBay site right now, and we've got some amazing high-grade coins, gold, silver coins, and Star Wars figures that are on our eBay store right now. We've got another coin collection coming along right behind that. We're working with a cool Pokemon and Magic the Gathering card collection. So it just goes on and on and on. And these things will show up in our various feeds in various ways, some on PopShop, some on eBay, some on live auction. So if you are interested in any of those things, you really want to stay tuned to what we do, because it just, we right now, we're getting so many collections and we're going so fast. It's just bigger and bigger and bigger how many things we are working with at any given time. So you're going to see everything go by.
Scott, thank you.
It's very exciting.
Scott, thank you very much for joining us.
All right. Thanks, Tyler.